Hello everybody and welcome back to the United Stand. I am joined by a rival preview, Cecil from AFTV. Cecil, I was dreading coming into this, but then I realised, you know what? Arsenal have also bottled the title race. So as bad as Manchester United are, Arsenal, you know, same old routine from you guys.
Beth, why are we doing this? Don't stop. This is not the energy you come in with when you're sitting in page 2, 14th, and I'm normally quite reserved, humble. I come onto United Stand. We had Maud who normally comes with big chest, and you come with big chest, try and have a laugh and banter me, but you can't banter me from all the way down there. You lot, I'll be honest, are horrendous. Horrendous right now. I watch your games and think, I can't believe this is Manchester United. Honestly, it's bewildering. We even said just off camera there, you haven't won a consecutive game in the league all season. That stat alone is horrendous. Like, that's crazy. So, listen, it's a pleasure to see you again. Pleasure to be back on the channel. But if we're going to talk, I'm surprised you invited me back because, boy, I mean, I'm in a good place. I know you might say, cool, you're going to win, whatever. But where I'm sat right now, in second, things are looking good. There's no protests in my club right now. Things are just, you know, you got protests on the way. We're all right over here.
Do you know what? It's sad, isn't it? Because I was just saying before that obviously I've got to come here with a little bit of chest because, you know, we're on the United Stand, and as bad as Manchester United are, and you are correct, we are absolutely dreadful, and it's horrible for us to see. I've got to give it a little bit, you know, I've got to kind of build it up a little bit because I've always got to back my team. And do you know what makes me laugh even more before I get into how kind of dead this fixture is, considering how many iconic fixtures we've had over the years? What actually kind of gets me is the fact that Manchester United are so bad, like the worst we've been, like worst Man United team in history, Ruben Amorim's words, yet we still might come out this season with the trophy and Arsenal won't. And that gives me a little bit of motivation to keep going. Until we're out of that Europa League, I will keep going. I will keep going.
Yeah, very small motivation because I mean, you have as much chance as us winning the Champions League. So if you believe you're going to win the Europa League, then I should have belief that we can win the Champions League. But it's not. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to win the Champions League. I don't think you're going to win the Europa League.
Look, you'd rather us win it than Spurs. But to be fair, we might not even get to Spurs because they might be out by Alkmaar, and we might not even get
past Real Sociedad.
Yeah, it's all up in the air right now. And speaking of which, we do need to rest players for Sunday. And this is why I was saying it's such a dead rubber game on Sunday, because I get it. Like, you guys are going to want to have bragging rights. You're going to want to finish as high as possible. But let's be honest. You're not taking the league off Liverpool. Like, they've won the league. And for Manchester United, we're not going to get relegated. The fact we've even been talking about that. We're also not going to get Europe, and we've got to focus on Thursday. So it's mad because there's been so many iconic United versus Arsenal fixtures, but this one just feels a little bit like just
I don't
dead.
like that. Don't like that narrative. I don't like that narrative. Arsenal versus Man United, Man United versus Arsenal is always a big game. I know United fans. I speak to many of them. They're trying to do this. Doesn't matter. Look
doesn't know, to be fair.
I don't like that.
We're focused on Sociedad.
It's a big game. It's Manchester United versus Arsenal, regardless of where you are on the table. If it was the other way around, if we were sitting in 14th, you were second, United fans would be in my ear saying, "Oh, you wait. It's going to be a big game, and there's going to be banter after it." They're huge teams, two huge clubs. I know right now your league form's not great, but I'm not seeing it as a dead rubber. But you did, my interest peaked because you said about you'd rest players because of your of course you've got the game in the Europa League. I mean, you're on a draw right now. You kind of got to go all out in that game. I didn't really consider that because I look at Sunday's game and I look at our team and think, well, I know Arteta's going to go really strong because one, he's just taking every competition serious, but also the PSV game was 7-1 up. Like that game, we're going to rest players. I mean, we did previews this week already for the game, and everyone's put a strong 11 for Arsenal. So we're not going to take it lightly. We understand that going to Old Trafford can throw up, you know, some difficulties at times. I'm coming with chest today on the show because I'll be shocked if we even draw. I'm furious. I've watched Man United a lot this season, and I can't believe how bad they are. So if we lose to that, regardless of it being at Old Trafford, because people will say, especially the PTSD fans will say, oh, but it's Old Trafford, it's like a big derby game. I know it's not Spurs, but anything can happen. It's difficult going away there. The last 4 times we've met you, we've beaten you. So I'm confident, and rightly so. And it is a big game. And yeah, well, I mean, you're resting. I hope you get. Listen, I want a record scoreline. You see what we did to PSV? You've done it to us in the past. I'll hold my hands up and say, cool, you've done the 8-2s and whatnot. So this time, when you have no, you know, you got injuries, you haven't got much off the bench. I don't want to see Arsenal show mercy. I really don't. And you might play 5 at the back as Ruben does and try and do low block football, and it is boring. You play some dreadful football, but I'm hoping we punish you.
Yeah, it's one of them where I think the best Manchester United can hope for is a draw, to be honest with you. And by a draw, either like a 1-1 or even a 0-0, because I'm looking at it, despite the fact you beat PSV 7-1, and granted, you know, you played fantastically well that game, and I watched some of it, it was a good game. It was a good game, and you did really well. I've been watching Arsenal in the league, and you are missing not having a striker, and you don't have much up front. You don't have much firepower up front. Manchester United, the area where we actually have been half decent is we like you said, we play a 5 at the back, and as much as Ruben Amorim wants to take that further, he wants to push up the pitch and he wants his wing backs flying on. At the moment, it does feel like a 5 at the back, and we can set up with a good team structure to stop you from scoring goals. Like, I do trust in our defence. It's just.
But who is that, Beth? Sorry, who is that? Because Dorgu, he's not available. Maguire's out. Evans
Maguire might be back. Maguire might be back.
Okay, give me your. Sorry, let me just know the back. Who's potentially who would start in your back?
Well, this is the thing as well, because I'm looking towards Thursday, and I'm thinking Mazraoui needs a rest. He's playing every single minute. I'm thinking Yoro needs a rest. You know, he's played a lot of minutes and he's only young. De Ligt, he's always playing. So I'm looking at the back 3, and I do think there'll be rotations. I won't be surprised if the back 3 was Victor Lindelof, who
not Heaven.
Yeah, I reckon Heaven will play. He came on against Fulham and actually looked really good, to be honest. And it's against his old team. And like I said, as much as I don't want to throw the game against Arsenal, I don't want to do that. I want to win it. Of course I do. I need to focus on Thursday. Ruben Amorim might think, you know, we need to get our defensive structure right, so he might go with our best defence. Our best defence would be De Ligt, Mazraoui and Yoro at the moment, the back 3, and then you'd probably have Dalot and I'm thinking about Mazraoui would probably have to play wing back actually, because Dog is banned, so Victor Lindelof comes in anyway. It's weak. It's weak, to be honest with you. But defensively, we can shut up shop. Like, we can do that. It's scoring goals where Manchester United, we cannot score goals for love nor money. We could play there for 3 hours. We won't score. Like, we don't score goals. It's something that has really frustrated Manchester United fans. And, you know, Ahmad's out, Cobby's out. We've got no goal threat. So as much as Arsenal don't really have a goal threat, that's how Man United can get a result out of that game, is making it boring probably, which is pretty sad, but that's where we're at. That's a game plan that we massively struggle with. I'll be honest, low blocks and whatnot. Arteta and the Arsenal team, we know we haven't really found, you know, the key to unlock that. Obviously PSV is different. They played there at home. They kind of came at us and we just absolutely took them apart. But I do believe, even with that back line, we should be able to find gaps in there and definitely win the game. I know you haven't got much attacking threats, and neither do we, but we still have players that you can look at. Even when you're a youngster, but I'll tell you what, he's superb. He's a phenomenal talent. And I believe against the players that you have in that back line that you mentioned, if you rotate, I don't know why you're not worried about getting absolutely destroyed if you over rotate and put in like youngsters like Heaven in. That is a risk of. Heaven looked decent. I know it was only a little bit off the bench, but he looked decent. I think with like someone like a De Ligt next to him, and someone with a bit of experience, I think he'd do all right. I mean, he's playing against his old team. You've got to take chance. You've got to give him an opportunity. And I don't think we'll get ripped apart. Like, I don't think that Wanyeri looks like a super player. I agree with you. He looks super talented. I mean, in terms of our goal threats as well, like, another former Arsenal player, Cheeto. He can't play in the Europa League, and he looked good when he came on against Fulham. Anyone, to be honest, who shows a little bit of something looks good right now. United fans are clutching at straws, and you don't want to put too much pressure on the youngsters. But he could very well be in line to start. Hoyland, 18 games, no goal. Like, Cheeto can't play in Europa League, so give him some minutes to kind of reward him from his good cameo against Fulham. I mean, is he someone that you're a bit gutted you let go of, or?
Good question. It's funny, every time I come on this channel, we speak about like throwing youngsters in and then having to you have to throw them into the fire. They have to literally just find their way out of it. Like, we spoke about Kobe, we spoke about Ahmad's not that young, but Kobe was definitely one of them. And we spoke about last time, protect them, but you can't really, because you're in the situation you're in. You've got to let them keep them playing. Now we're talking about Heaven, who's a youngster. I watched him in pre-season against Liverpool, made a massive blunder, massive mistake that led to a goal. Did recover after that. But again, that's naivety. He's young. He's very young. And then you're talking about Chido Obi Martin, who, listen, physically, he's a for his age, he's a freak. I think he's a quality player. Annoyed I let him go. For me, I was an ex-striker, and I think he's an incredible talent. I've watched him in the academy as well, so I thought it was quite silly letting him go. However, if you don't want to, a lot of people say it's because of the money. I know United obviously offered him a pathway and said you'll be the third striker. I think when you're looking about your career, money-wise as well, you're going to think about yourself. So it's annoyed me the way he left, but at the end of the day, Arteta's bringing through young players in the right way, in my opinion. Ethan, Mars, Lewis, Skelly. We've got Max Downham in the youngs. I know you've got JJ Gabriel. I wonder what happened to him. I wonder if he's going to get taken.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. God he stays.
That's the thing. The players that we really see a future with, they are here. They're still here. Like Ethan, Arteta's, he was making debuts at 15. We knew he was going to be ready. Mars, Lewis, Skelly kind of broke through, but
Cheeto did train with your first team at 15 though, as well.
He did. But I think there was more. It was a clear path. Ethan was always going to be at Arsenal. Max Downham, okay, he's the next one that loads of clubs are around sniffing around him, but he's probably going to stay because I think
Arteta's... Giving it large, weren't he? Giving it large.
Yeah, and obviously he played.
He got knocked out.
Yeah, all right. But listen, he stole the show. Don't give me that because he ran that game. Yeah, you.
Don't mind, you still got knocked out.
You're through. Oh, yes. But I hear it. Listen, let's go on and win it. That's all I'm going to say. All these cups, you knocked out the FA Cup as well. Oh, everyone was all excited. All United fans giving me jip, all of that. But go on. If you're going to do it, go on and win it. Don't go out the next round and then what? We're all in the same place. Yeah. Firstly, and then lastly, what you said about Chidio? Do I regret letting him go? No, I don't know. I think he's a good talent. And I think he should. If I was in Ruben's shoes, I would probably be thinking to start him because I know Xerxes scored in the last game. It was actually a pretty good goal, and he actually seems like the big threat. Højlund, you lot made Xerxes cry, but Højlund's still there, and I'm like, wow, you are not ready for this level at all. And then last question, sorry, I've rambled on a bit, but Beth, every time we do this, where are you at with Bruno? Because every time it's changed. Every time I come here, there's a different. You always have been a Bruno stan, but I know but sometimes I see the waver in your voice, or you seem like you have doubts. Where are you at with him at this stage?
You know I'm a Bruno lover. Like I am.
I know you are.
I think, and I get rinsed for saying this because he's such a divisive player because there's some people that feel the way I feel about him and there's some people that think he's holding back the team. My opinion is I think if you put him into a better team with better players, he would be fantastic. I think obviously he has weaknesses to his game and he has flaws, but I think them flaws are so overexposed because he's in a team that is really poor. He's having to do so many jobs. I think in a better team, his strengths flourish and his weaknesses get covered up. That's how I feel like it would go if he did play in a better team. I think he gets so much criticism and so much stick because he's playing in such a poor Manchester United side. I think I would have loved to know how he's, obviously I'm so glad he's at United, but I would have loved to know how his career would have gone if he actually would have gone to a properly functioning team that would have built properly around him, because I do think he's, talent-wise, he's our best player, and I think a lot of people can talk about his petulance. That does frustrate me, and his lack of discipline and whether he should be captain. But one thing you can't say is he doesn't give every single ounce of himself for the club, and we've missed that through a lot of the players we have brought in, and they've not given enough. And he knows what it is to be a United player, but he is frustrating. But I look at Man United and you look at the problems within our team, and he'd be like the last issue I'd be addressing. I mean, how do you feel about him as a rival fan looking in?
Well, as a rival fan, like every rival fan of Bruno, they hate Bruno.
I know, but what do you actually think of him as a player? Do you know what I mean? You've got to put it to that bit to one side.
It's okay.
It's like I hated Luis Suarez, but I knew he was a top player. Do you know what I mean?
No, he's a quality player. Yeah, that's but again, that's.
I'm not comparing Bruno to Suarez, but you know what I mean.
No, well, I get it, but that's universal. Like I never liked Suarez, but I understand how much of a good striker he is. He's incredible. He's one of the best that the Premier League seen. So, but with Bruno, I don't have that same energy. I think he's a good player. I think he gets you out of really serious sticky moments, especially recently, and I think. That's where he becomes so divisive, because there's times where he's petulant and just walking around and shouting at people and being frustrating as a player. And I see that from him. I wouldn't personally want him in my side, even though you say if he's in a better side, would he thrive? I think you have to be a certain team to allow that sort of attitude to roam amongst a team. So for me, I wouldn't want him in my side. However, as a player, yeah, I mean, he scores great goals. He does have big moments. But for me, yeah, for me, he's not my cup of tea. I think I don't know what I don't know where if I was in your fan base, I'd probably be on the other side of get him out the team.
Are you ready to admit he's better than Odegaard yet, though? Come on.
Beth, what are we doing here?
Oh, Cecil, come on.
Beth, please.
Are you ready to admit it? You got to admit it now.
Did you watch? You just said
one game in about 6 months.
Yeah, okay. He had a bit of a purple patch, but as actual footballer, we're talking football. He a whole round footballer. Odegaard is better than Bruno Fernandes, so that is where I stand. Unfortunately, of course, and it's not even. I'm not even being biased. I think that's fair. I think if you ask your fan base. Even on the fact that I think a lot of them would have.
Get in the comments down below.
Yeah, let me know.
Down below.
I'm not talking rubbish. Odegaard's incredible. Odegaard is incredible. You're gonna see anyway. You're gonna see because if I'm being honest, in this game, I believe Arteta's he made a small change against PSV. Yes, granted they play different to how United are gonna play, but we were going long a lot from goal kicks. If you see that come Sunday, if you see that first goal kick, Raya goes long, just be ready to just hold a lot of attacking pressure. And I say this because I think we've changed in the sense that he threw both fullbacks forward, Calafiori and Timber. Whether it was Marcel Skedi, he was in at the first, but then Calafiori came in. He was playing pretty much in the 9. But he scored against PSV. Timber playing in the 9, basically. He scored as well against PSV. I think what you're going to see is Arteta is going to put a lot of pressure. And it's risky. It's risky because it's at Old Trafford. It is risky. And normally we stay quite conservative when we play away and we try and we pick off goals. But I think this game, because of your weaknesses, and you'll do a low block, I think if we just apply it, pressure throughout, eventually we'll score a few goals. So just be aware of that. If we're going long from goal kicks, that'll be the first indicator. Because we didn't used to do that, but now we are. You
don't need to really worry too much about us on the counter-attack either, because we don't really have much threat. But I want to ask you, as an Arsenal fan looking in, we have got protests going on Sunday. Yeah. What are your thoughts? I know obviously, you'll follow Manchester United, not as deep as the United fans who are watching this, but you have got an outside perspective. What are your thoughts on what Ineos have done, since they've come in, and Ruben Amorim, and just the whole situation at Manchester United, the relationship between the fan base and the ownership? Because obviously, the fans are massively frustrated with the way this football club is being run and has been run. What are your thoughts on that?
How long we got? Because I'll be honest, I look at United, it's a big mess. Yeah. Big mess. And this is coming from a fan from afar. Obviously, we've been through protests at our club, Cronkies. We've been through times where we were, finishing 8th and things were bad, Super League time. And you look at us and you thought, okay, it's bad, but it can be salvaged. And rightly so. It really was. They brought someone in charge like Mikel Arteta, who at the time put more anger amongst the fan base because he was unproven. No one really was saying, I want Mikel Arteta. But he done a lot of work to change the club and bring the fans back on side. I think you're in a place where there's so much going wrong. There's so many fires at Man United, which to me, I'm speaking from a fan that loved the old days of just like the rivalries and you guys being a top club, us being a top club and us up there. It's unfathomable how bad you've fallen, and it's not just the football. That's the worry. It's not just the players. It's not the quality of players you have on the pitch, which, by the way, I think's not good at all. Yeah. But there's also other problems like the Ineos Glazers, them putting a shield, putting Jim Ratcliffe in there to basically take percentage of ownership, but really using them as a shield to block off all the annoyance and frustration that really the owners. They should just let go, but they don't. They're keeping the business. They know what money. United's worth, how big of a club it is. They know it's a good business, but they're putting in a shield to stake away from all that problems. And that shield hasn't been doing their job. And they're doing cuts, which I think are ridiculous. I think you've gone. So you're looking at such little things. There's players on big money, big contracts, playing terribly, wrong ages, and then you're looking at staff mills and staff. You have to get rid of jobs and I mean the home ground, the state. There's so many things that I think you need to address before you get into whether it is the team playing. So, if I'm honest, I think you're in a dire situation. It's unbelievable where you're at. Obviously, as an Arsenal fan, I enjoy it, but I think it's a long way until you talk about a rebuild, but it's a long way till you get there. And having a manager, sorry to just keep going on, but I think having Ruben Amorim, I think even he knows, okay, this is a lot bigger task than what I initially thought.
It's quite sad as well, isn't it? Because I know, obviously, as an Arsenal fan, you want to kind of see Manchester United do poorly, but at the same time, you want to see Arsenal and United competing towards the top of the league. That's what you want to see, because that's where that's where I think the Premier League's at its best, with two big clubs like that, you know, big London club, a big club in Manchester, like two of the biggest clubs in England going at it. And Manchester United are just, like you said, just every year it feels like it can't get any worse. And now it's like, can it get any worse? But then the next thing comes around, it's like, wow, your jaw is literally on the floor looking at what's going on. And as a United fan that season ticket holder, like, goes to the games, I feel like such a detachment from the club. And I love the club, like, it's been my whole life, but that's how it feels because of the way that I just don't recognise it.
But that's the worst place to be. And I'm sorry. Listen, it's obviously gonna get you don't sit at 14th and it get worse. Otherwise, you're looking at relegation or whatnot. Man United never going to be there.
Hey, I didn't think we'd been 14th, so.
Yeah, no, I get that. But I understand what you just said, though, the connection. I lost the connection between Arsenal and was in our dark days. And I understand that feeling massively. And there was no player to buy into. There was no one to, like, be like, I'm still connected here. And we was exactly there what you just said. And I look at Man United, there's no one in that team, I think, well, who's the superstar here? Or who's the one that you know, you're going to watch or you're looking forward to go and see? Like, it was Kobe, but now he's gone. The Rashfords have gone. Like, there's no one to really hold on to, buy into, no players to look at. There's no identity either. It's just, there's so much wrong. There's no quality players. I remember we had no quality players. There's no assets there. There's players on big money that you can't really look to sell on for big money. That's a problem. Now, Arsenal has changed. If I look at it from our side, like, we rebuilt, we bought players that, again, I wasn't too sure were going to be too good. The Ben Whites, Aaron Ramsdales, all those players, Tommy Asu's, even though he's injured. But those players then became fan favourites and they started to become assets. And you buy into these players. We built youngsters into superstars, the Sakas. And then you get your club back into the right trajectory. You build back up. Your rebuild has to go from... It's a lot to... I mean, yeah, it's a big ask. It is a big ask.
Probably do a whole show just on that. But I want to ask quickly about you before I ask you a question about the Manchester United squad. You know, I like to ask you... I'm not doing a combined 11 because there's no point. But I want to ask you the thoughts on certain squad members. But I wanted to ask you because obviously we've got our own ownership issues, which, you know, are absolutely horrendous, like we've just spoken about. But I wouldn't say you've got maybe ownership issues, but I'm looking, if I was an Arsenal fan, at your summer... I think they let you down in the summer with your summer transfer window, and I also think they let you down in January. You know, Arteta has built a team that is nearly there. It's nearly there, but it's not quite there. And I look at the transfer window, you know, Sterling, Calafiori looks okay, but it's like you dropped a massive ball not going and getting a striker. And then to do that again in January, I mean, what are your thoughts on that? And what do Arsenal need to do to actually get that title over the line? Because I agree, you're in a much better place than us. You're in a much better position team-wise than us. Like, way more miles ahead of us in terms of your project. But the fact of the matter is, United have won trophies and you're still not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's my biggest frustration. I mean, you can't finish second. It's going to be 3 seasons in a row now. And you're the second best team in the country and not pick up trophies on the way. Biggest frustration that is. Whether it's and fans give me stick. If it's a League Cup, I don't care. I would have taken it. League Cup, FA Cup, I don't care what it is. I know we want the majors, the Champions League, the Premier Leagues, but I think when you're that good of a side, when you're, again, second, and I know it's not the top, but you're still competing against some top teams and dispatching, especially last season, of big teams, you've got to pick up trophies on the way. That is my biggest disappointment in Arsenal over the years. But you speak about the ownership. I'm one that gets a lot of stick around the ownership because I was at the Kroenke out protest, of course, but then 2 years later, we did a record signing, 105 million for Declan Rice. They invested in the club. You see Josh Kroenke being the face. Some would say a shield, but he was involved more. The fans started to buy back into the club. We started to, you know, pick up performances, getting second. And that year I bumped into the whole of the Arsenal board, all the Kroenkes. I've got a photo of them, keeps going round. But at that moment, things were good. And I'm a fan that they call it flip-flops, whatever, but I will stand on, in the moment, that was the right, for me, that was the right decision, right thing to do. Now, I'm not 100%, you know, it's all on the Kroenkes because I think Arteta does have a bit of blame here. Like, he's neglected the striker position for ages. And yes, it may be because money is not getting given to him from the Kroenkes, but I also think it's a bit on him as well because you look at Aubameyang, the Aubameyang situation, he pulled us to an FA Cup on his back. So you'd say, okay, Arteta, Aubameyang, our striker, got you that trophy, basically. He gave you a longer time at the club as well because he was under a lot of pressure in the start of the season. But because of the FA Cup, fans would say, well, he's won a trophy. We did that with an elite striker. But since then, you've never looked to get another elite striker. Jesus, never been a 15-goal striker, but that was the only time you invested in a striker. Havertz wasn't a striker. He was a midfielder. So we've neglected that. And I think that's more on Arteta because it's the style of play that he wants he looks at false nines. He's never been a manager that's had a prolific or looked to buy a prolific goal scorer. So I feel like there's a bit on him there, and he likes to put players out of position. We get centre backs who play him left back. We get midfielders play him left back or full back. We get, I don't know, even when Yeri's actually a striker, he's playing on the wing. Of course, that's because of certain reasons of whatnot. He's doing well there, but we never really play. I don't think he's specialised in getting a striker. And there's more issues as well. Edu, our sporting director, he's gone. Like, he's on gardening leave. There is, and I don't think that's because he just got a better job. I speak to Edu. I can't say too much right now, but I think there's more to it, and I think that's where there's problems, and that's the board. That's also the ownership as well. I think there's something that's blocking us going to that elite next level. The summer window, I think that's more on our board. I don't think that's on the owners, in my opinion, Beth. I think that the talent identification wasn't incredible. Raheem Sterling's all that, I don't think it was incredible, but at that time, I'll be honest, I thought this is still enough. We lost the league by 2 points. Yes, we didn't get a striker. I've been screaming for a striker for seasons and seasons, but I thought it's 2 points. We've upgraded everywhere else. In January, if we'll see where we are, get a striker. Not getting a striker in January? Could
have been the difference between you winning, actually putting a big, I wouldn't say winningly, putting a big bid in to win the league, though. If you would have got Watkins over the line or something like that. But look, it's not happened. Let's see what you do in the summer. I know a lot of you guys are looking at Isaac. That's going to be a tough one to do. But if you got him, I think that would be insane for you guys, and I would be worried about you going into next season. But I want to just do something because for the United fans to kind of see an outside perspective and kind of get interactive and get your comments in the chat as well. I just wanted to go through some of United squad members, and you tell me whether you would take them just in the squad at Arsenal, not in starting 11, but just in the squad. Okay.
Okay, so you're going to run through the names, yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to run through the names. Victor Lindelof.
Fullback. I got all up. But
quick, no, yes or no?
No, sorry, no.
No.
And this is with all, so everyone, and all my team are fit as well, yeah? So
yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Okay.
Mazraoui.
Oh, good player. But no, we have great depth in that position. No.
De Ligt.
Good player though. No.
Harry Maguire.
No way.
Lisandro Martinez.
Oh, we wanted him. We did want him. He went left back. MLS, Calafiori. No. It's tough, that one.
Dorgu.
I haven't seen him. I've seen a bits of him. It's too early to say. How old is he as well? Just
20.
I think he's like 20. Yeah, he's young. I like that profile. Athletic, strong. Yeah, I'm going to say yeah for that. But it's a tough one. I haven't seen nothing, but I'm going to say yeah. He's young.
He looks good so far. Euro. Yeah. Lenny Euro.
Lend me a Euro. Interesting. Rio Ferdinand said about him and Saliba are going to be on par. A young centre-back. He hasn't looked great, though, if I'm being honest.
He's looked a lot better the last few games.
Okay, let's go. Yeah, because I think, Flex to say that as well. Yeah, okay, let's go. Yeah. Good cover in the squad.
Diogo Dalot.
No, he's past it now. Good. It was good. He's past it now for me.
Aiden Heaven.
You're taking a piss. No, I'm not taking them back.
Move on to some midfielders. Bruno Fernandes.
Nah.
Get out.
He wouldn't work. He would not work at Arsenal. Sorry,
nah,
he wouldn't.
Christian Eriksen. I don't know why I even read that one out.
No.
Casemiro.
No, he's past.
Okay, this is a good one. Ugarte.
Nah.
I'm shocked at that.
And
think Ugarte do a great job.
Partey and Jorginho are going to be leaving, but no, I think we got to look. We want Zubimendi that we're linked to. Those sort of. I need that sort of level going in the squad. Nah, good player though.
I think Ugarte do a job. Kobbie Mainoo.
Yeah, I'm a fan of him though. I'm a big fan of him.
Mason Mount.
No way. Has he played this season?
Yeah, he has, but like barely any minutes. Honestly, don't even get me started. Okay, Alejandro Garnacho.
No.
Ahmad.
Yeah.
Of course he gets into your squad. Joshua Zirkzee.
No.
Rasmus Højlund.
No way.
Anthony.
Is he still there? Oh,
he's smashing it at Betis, isn't he? But he's on loan, so I thought I'd include.
I was going to say, I didn't know he was on loan if they bought him. Okay, no.
And Marcus Rashford.
Right. Okay. No. But listen.
What thought you said yes to that?
I know. I'm a big fan. Listen, friends, but I wouldn't. want him at Arsenal, even though he's doing really well at Aston Villa. He needs to be he's happy.
I think he should stay there, to be honest. I think they should buy him at the end of the season.
Yeah, so do I. So do I.
Cecil, it's been an absolute pleasure. Last but not least, score predictions and just final thoughts, because this is the last time we'll meet until next season or pre-season or something like that.
Do you know where you're going pre-season? We're in Hong Kong.
Oh, we're going to Malaysia for 2 friendlies at the end of the season, and then we're going to the US for the tour for the summer series.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, because we're going, I think, Hong Kong and Malaysia, Singapore, I think. Okay, cool. That's weird that they were doing the summer as well in America. It's Club World Cup.
Money in it.
Money, yeah, okay, fair. Okay, let's go. Score prediction I did on AFTV, 3-0 Arsenal. Confident, very confident. Don't see a lot scoring. I think if we go with the same attacking nous that we had against PSV, then we're there. So 3-0. Final thoughts. You lot are really bad in a bad place, and this could blow up in my face. This could clips and say, look how cocky this was. Now look, you've lost, but it's unbelievable. I said it in the speech before about your ownership and whatnot. It's unbelievable where you lot are. And you're having protests. That's kind of a big sign. I think Spurs having protests as well recently, and Chelsea as well. There's a lot of things wrong at those sort of clubs, but it's going to be an interesting game. It's not a dead rubber game. It's United versus Arsenal. It's a big game regardless. Wherever any position is, I'm going to treat it like a big game. I'll be ringing you after the match, like you were messaging
like I did after the FA Cup, and now we're out.
And give me your voice notes. Yeah, exactly. And now,
how embarrassing for you guys that you lost to 10 Men United, though. Seriously.
Get it in, enjoy it. Because tomorrow, Sunday, I'll be very loud. So yeah, so make sure you tune in and make sure, and Beth, yeah, just keep your phone either off. Well, I'll speak to you anyway on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, even if you do turn it off. Yeah, 3-0. What's your score prediction quickly as well? Just
going 1-0 Arsenal, I reckon. I wanted to try and back United, but there's just nothing. There's nothing that can make me. Maybe a 1-1, maybe Cheeto can score against his old club. But I'm just looking at the defenders he's going to be against. It's a tough ask. It's a really tough ask. I'd go with 1-0. I'd go with 1-0 Arsenal, to be honest with you. And that's me being generous. That's me being nice.
At least being truthful.
Last question: Will United win the Europa League?
No.
Will Arsenal win the Champions League?
Say again.
Will Arsenal win the Champions League?
Right, Cecil, what do you want to do here? Do you want to be a laughing stock, or do you want to just keep it real? No, we're not winning the Champions League. I'll be real and honest, but if we get past the Madrids, which is going to be the next round, I know we've got to play PSV in the second leg, but that's already done. If we get past the Madrids, just know you're going to see me.
You won't get past them, so I won't see you. Well, thing is, though, all I can say is I wish we would be able to, play against Madrid in that sort of competition. I mean, we're dreading going in against Real Sociedad, so that's where we're at. But look, thank you for joining. Enjoy Manchester when you're up on Sunday. Take part in the protest with us. And yeah, everyone, get your comments in down below. Do you think Cecil was right? Do you think we need some harsh truths as United fans? Let us know your thoughts and predictions in the comments. Go and check Cecil out as well. AFTV is a good watch, when they have one of them losses. I love going tuning in there. When did I go and watch it last time? I think it was when you bottled it, when the kind of league went. I went over and watched it over there. It was a good one. It was a good one to watch. But look, thank you very much, Cecil. And
I'll let you have that one.
We'll see you on the next one, everyone.